loud, but I actually know where that is now. All right.
How can you delete it?
I don't know, but welcome everyone. Virtual session / in-person lab. We're going to be extracting our DNA. So if you haven't already, please open the document that I sent in the email to you in your Canvas inbox. It's called MS, which stands for Middle School Extract Your DNA Lab. All right. So there's only one pre-lab question that's going to go one of two ways for you. It says, what do you know about DNA? You're either going to know something about DNA or you don't know anything about it. And you're going to write, I don't know anything about it, right? So take a second right now on the copy of the document that you made to answer that question. What do you know about DNA? It could be a lot of things. It could be, you know that it's in your body, right? Something that you know.
Does the DNA have to do with your hormones?
Indirectly, yes. It does. So people tuned in at home, make sure you're also doing the same thing. You're answering that question. What do you know about DNA? Pretty basic question there. Ooh. NUCL.
Big word, I don't even know.
EIC, I believe.
EIC?
I think so. I might have to write it out.
No, it's, I think it's NUCL.
Yep, that's how you spell it.
Oh,
No, it's fucked up.
Okay. So what do we know about DNA? Give me some stuff. Shout some stuff out.
It comes in your blood.
It's in your blood. It determines what you look like. What else?
Well, your DNA can do that.
Okay, so it can give you it gives you your bad qualities and your good qualities. Sure. What else? Do we know anything else? I heard the word nucleic. What did you say about nucleic?
DNA stands for ribonucleic acid.
Oh, deoxyribonucleic acid. Awesome, right? So what it actually stands for, that's why we call it DNA, because deoxyribonucleic acid is a lot to say every time you want to talk about DNA. All right, cool. So we got some people who know some stuff about DNA. If you don't, you're about to learn some stuff. So we are going to be extracting our DNA. If you're watching from home, you can actually do this from home if you have the materials. You could also get the materials and do it at another point. But basically, what we're going to be doing is you're going to be gargling salt water in your mouth. So swishing it around. You could do a little like gargle in the throat if you want. And then you're going to spit it back into the cup. So you may be thinking, why are we doing that? Or you're thinking something else.
Yeah.
The reason that we're doing that, right, is because you're actually going to be breaking cells off of the inside of your mouth as you gargle that salt water around. And then when you spit it back into the cup, you're going to have your DNA in the cup with the salt and the water, right? Water doesn't have DNA, salt doesn't have DNA because they're not living things. So the only thing in the cup is going to be your DNA. Then we're going to do some chemical process stuff here with dishwashing soap, alcohol, and food coloring, right? And you're going to follow some directions. And you should, at the end, actually get strings of your DNA that will be in clumps.
What?
Yes. It looks really cool. We watched a video about how to do it. And then after that, we're going to do a tiny lesson about DNA just to review major things about it. Because it is a super important science concept. No matter which grade you're in, by the time you go into high school, you really need to know some basic stuff about DNA. And then you'll have me probably for biology, where I'll make you learn a lot more about DNA. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I need some volunteers who want to be partners with the computer. She's going to be partners with all the people tuning in from home so they can see up close what's going on. And that way I can walk around and help people. And I'm not like, here's the cup, here's this, here's that. Okay? All right. So I'm trusting you to uphold. Yeah. Elizabeth's gonna pass out to you guys a cup of salt water.
Oh, he gets to Starbucks one?
And they're all the same. They all have 3 tablespoons of salt water in them. Right? So yes, it's gonna taste salty.
Ew, we have to taste it?
I'm just gonna eat it.
Oh, I don't want to be salty like Kobe.
I have gum in my mouth.
I guess that's what
Kobe.
happened. I guess
Look
what
what
happened
you got
when
me
you have a
into.
salty mind.
It's water. With
2
salt.
years ago, I found out with DQ.
Wait, could I put this in the ocean and it'd be exactly the same?
No.
Man, I wish. Oh my god.
I knew that since I was freaking 3.
I didn't know.
It's not
I
salty.
did live right next to the
All right.
Are you swimming in a dog?
So if we're looking at our document, step 1, if we scroll down to how to. Oh, I hate how the Chromebook scroll. Okay. It says mix the bottled water with salt. Guess what? We already did that. Put it in a separate cup. We did that. We're on step 3. Gargle the salt water for 1 minute. Who wants to time on their phone a minute?
I got it.
Me.
All right.
Oh.
August is timing a minute. Tell us when to start, August. We're going to put the salt water in our mouth, swish it around.
Oh, this.
I have
is,
gum.
I don't even smell
This
anything.
is so salty.
Not like you.
Like Kobe.
Oh.
Like Kobe. Like
I don't
he's
want
salty.
to. I
Okay.
don't want
Are we ready?
No.
No.
What?
This is gonna be yummy.
3, 2, 1.
Do we need some more?
We have one more. We have more cups over here.
My stomach.
I love the gargle noises. Keep them going. Keep them going.
Abby, come on in. Are you gargling, Alexis?
Mm-mm.
It's actually the gargling sound.
All right, we only have 15 seconds of gargle time left. Just 15 seconds. You could do it. You did almost the whole time.
Oh, there's actually a couple of something.
Yes. And spit it back in the cup.
Yeah, a couple.
It didn't want to touch my throat.
If you need to go get a sip of water, quickly get water and come back. If you need to get water, go ahead.
To be honest, just a little
I
bit.
still had some left in there.
Just a
Well,
little.
I can already see.
Wow.
Okay, so we can already see stuff. What do we see?
My saliva.
Ugh.
I don't know. Kobe's looks like it didn't even get touched.
That's
Probably
all
didn't.
remnants.
Okay.
My
Promise.
He probably
I
would.
was gonna take a selfie.
So
Hashtag selfie.
let's go to the next step. Step 4. Spit the water back into the cup. We did that. Step 5. Add 1 drop of washing up liquid. I think this was made by British people. That's what they call dish soap, right? Washing up liquid. We're going to use the washing up liquid. So,
Washing off liquid.
all right, this is an important step. And you could ruin your DNA forever.
My DNA was been ruined. I look like trash. I was made by a garbage can.
Okay. So we're gonna take the straw. Everyone's gonna get a straw. You're not gonna be drinking anything. Don't worry.
Thank you.
And we're going to
My daughter.
My mom is a trash can and my mother is a dumpster.
yes. So you're going to dip it into the dish soap.
My father's a
That's right.
dumpster.
Listen.
Dip it into the dish soap. Just get a little bit of dish soap on the end of the straw. You're gonna put it in your cup, and you're gonna very gently stir. You don't want any bubbles. 0 bubbles.
What if there's bubbles already in?
If there's already bubbles, you don't want more bubbles. Okay, so you're gonna take the straw, a tiny dip of that dish soap. You're gonna be stirring it very gently. No vigorous stirring.
How long do you stir it?
Just for a few seconds, just until the dish soap looks like it's getting dissolved in there.
Hey, Jamie, what's the saltwater water mix we mermaid?
Oh, great, so
I
this
see.
one is.
I already got 1 bubble.
I see whiteness forming.
That was a lot.
It's probably just
That's probably just
that brush.
That's gross.
I already
Look at-
know
wait,
what
Kobe,
you're
Kobe.
going to say.
Oh my god, so
Now what we need is a distillery.
Okay.
my closest friends.
All right. So they also need
So,
soap and stuff.
we're gonna.
I hate soap water.
All
Soap
right.
water.
So we're stirring. We did a nice job stirring. Okay. Now.
He really knows anything.
Oh no, we need separate cups. Uh-oh. I didn't anticipate needing separate cups.
Kobe, drink it.
We need more cups.
Drink it.
He doesn't know any
Salt
salt
water. Salt.
You like soap.
It's
you
your
know that.
spit.
Exactly.
It's salt water. You were
I
already
hate when people
swishing it
go
around in your
when
mouth.
they get their throat or their spit and then you like
Okay.
they'll chuck it and then swallow
separate
it.
cups. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab more cups.
Okay.
Wait, do we still keep stirring?
You're good with the stirring. Now we're just sitting tight for a second. We're gonna be mixing the isopropyl alcohol and 3 drops of food coloring. Oh, we don't really need that.
It's
another one of that, guys.
And yesterday, oh my god, the pain, I can't even do it.
Imagine it's Dr. Ray.
She told me
I said imagine it's Dr. Ray.
boxes. Oh my god!
And it may be gross. It may be gross, but it's not as gross as this.
So those juice boxes, I was gonna
Yeah,
get some
killing
for
it
my
today.
second sister.
He showed me someone's face that got cut off by a
And she says,
thing.
"Oh come on, you should be
What?
able to
What?
learn how
Skate.
to cook your
A
whole
skate?
to 20."
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
Mom.
Kobe, you're dark.
What?
What?
I thought you just said he showed you something weird.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
chill at all.
Alien versus Predator rap.
A timer.
Rather just the predator.
What?
Hey,
Can I take it out?
Time a minute first, so she can do.
It was
Ew.
why? That was a dog. That was a dog spit. You know, like
Oh, put it all in your mouth, swish it around.
what's that one? A bloodhound. You know, like a bulldog.
I know.
Bulldogs are cute.
But they slobber all over the place.
They swallow what?
They slobber all over the place.
Not all the time. Not all of them do.
Your pit will eat your what?
Yeah, a big girl ate my 6 drops.
Your dog? That's sad. My dog is like this big. He's a Shih Tzu. He's a poodle, and
The
he's
Okay.
Paul Walker thing.
So we're going on to the next steps here, which Elizabeth is helping us.
You actually like spit.
Elizabeth is helping us mix up the alcohol and food coloring. So the next part of this is really, you have to be super delicate. Okay, so we have our DNA extract here, right? We're gonna take this alcohol food coloring mixture and you're gonna very slowly pour it on top so it makes a layer on top. So you're not just dumping it in, super slowly pouring it in so it actually floats on top of your gargled salt water.
What's that?
All I have.
We actually, yeah, we don't really need, actually this is fine.
I think there's a filter on her computer that makes me look good.
Thank you.
That's good, right?
I knew you were outside.
Okay, so
I know.
we have our food coloring alcohol mixture. It looks like
Wait, do you have any
Kool-Aid
other-
and it's definitely not. It smells like
Yum.
alcohol.
I don't.
So I'm gonna demonstrate on Kobe's
I
here.
barely even like Kool-Aid.
We take the straw out.
There is a water bottle. It smells like marker.
Woo! Smells bad. Smells like doctor's office. All right.
Doctor's
So
office?
we're gonna have our
Yes.
gargled salt water
Hey,
tilted.
doctor's office doesn't smell that bad.
Oh, like
We're
you're
gonna
pouring
have
the
our
beer.
alcohol mixture, and you're going to very slowly pour it. Oops, and try not to make a huge mess. Like
You
I'm
might
doing.
not want to get it on the floor.
Okay, now I see why.
Not on my clothes.
Speaking of big mess,
Remind me of paper towels.
This is not the most ideal cup to pour.
aim the
I'm more interested in
There
the
we go.
floor.
Okay. So now we have our alcohol floating on top of our mixture.
Oh, fine. Oh,
So thank you. Okay,
I like how you have pigs on your shirt dress.
thank you.
It's cute.
They're fine.
Fine pigs.
They're not just pigs. they're
police
fine.
choppers.
All right, so
Yeah, I thought those were
I'm gonna
shirts.
give you guys
Police choppers.
just a little bit of the alcohol solution. Okay, so that you can pour it on. Very gently pouring. And if you make a mess, it's okay.
Smells horrid, doesn't it?
I can
Pour
already.
it in, girl.
I can already smell it.
Would you say it's as bad as
It smells like,
a
you know
mixer?
when they are about to do it, you give you a shot? That's what it smells like. It just smells like alcohol.
Oh, all the alcohol.
This man is big blue stamp.
Oh,
Oh, you
Well,
know,
look it up.
actually what
That's
it
what they
is.
all say.
They'll call the
Well, they're-
janitor to
what?
pay minimum wage for
It is isopropyl.
wait, how much do we pour?
Yeah, just actually this is all.
Miss Dinsmore, do we pour all of
Just
it?
pour all of what I gave you.
It's a lot.
I think I'm actually gonna-
That actually works.
They don't really get one.
Okay, so where's the dish?
The dish soap is coming in. Oh, it's right here. I see them. Okay. So I'm bringing you a cup with your blue isopropyl alcohol solution.
Wait, how
Did it
much do we
work?
pour in?
Pour all of it. Pour very
Wait, Kobe, let me see
slowly
yours?
so that it's on the top.
It's not on the top. Mine turned blue.
That's okay. The whole thing is gonna turn blue.
Oh, it stinks so bad.
Yeah, this isn't a numbing thing.
You make more.
Yeah, this is the
I
numbing.
wonder if I can get the rest.
Ugh.
Oh no,
No,
this
I was telling people to talk. I just
What?
smells like
It's exactly
It
what
is.
it is.
so what I'm just poured in.
Wait, do we like stir
Don't
this?
stir it. Did you
Pour it
not
in.
hear what she said?
Oh.
I need a napkin.
You just poured it.
You need a napkin.
You
Tilt it like this, and then you pour it.
August, you need some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause I need to tap it.
Do you have to do this? Yes.
This is like disgusting.
This thing is
This is like
absolutely
disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, this
I didn't mind.
This stuff is horrid. Like
This
it's all
actually
over.
does smell like. This actually does smell like Sharpie markers.
It does smell
Oh,
slightly like
it's just
Sharpie. I agree with that. I think it smells like Dr. Pepper, personally.
It smells like that stuff that they're about to put on you when they're gonna give you a shot thing.
Oh, the
They just throw it.
I didn't mean to.
The alcohol thing.
Sure about that?
Alright, so guys, after we pour
Don't fight me.
the alcohol, those of us who were actually checking out the instructions, because you have them right in front of you,
Ew.
Now we're just
what
waiting.
is that?
we're just waiting for 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. But you should start to see white clumps. I see a white clump right there.
It's disgusting.
I don't know what that black stuff is, but that white clump, that's your
I
DNA.
don't see any white clothes.
Ugh.
Wait, which one do you know which is DNA in this
No,
one?
you have to wait.
Why
Don't
you
touch
look
it.
like mixing it?
Yeah, you can't mix it.
I didn't mix it.
Okay.
It was just in here.
Let it sit. It needs 3 minutes to clump.
Oh shoot, I just moved it.
Give an extra cup.
Wait, look.
Boy.
What is that?
Okay.
What's that black stuff?
Each point.
God damn, that's a horrid.
Okay. Well, we have the alcohol
Yes,
cup
you
shot,
know,
please.
What?
Take it.
Oh God.
Yeah. So we're just waiting now. We're gonna see if we can see white clumps.
I'm seeing things.
I could see like tiny little bubble things.
Bubbly string things. That's gonna be your DNA.
I was at happy straw.
All right, I'm gonna put my DNA in a plant.
Ow.
I'm gonna check my DNA.
I have a headache.
I was gonna say.
And then
I still have 3 7 years.
alcohol.
All I did is stretch it.
Your straw is bigger than his.
Yes, my straw is bigger than his straw.
But you don't need a straw
It's
because you're a
bigger
skull.
than his.
I
Just
hate
let
people
that
who
sink
Snapchat
into your
everything.
mind real quick.
I deleted.
Nothing is happening. I never even use Snapchat.
Oh, you don't want to switch
I've
it?
never been using my Musical.ly because of how
Okay.
cringy I can see how much cringy crap I see on that.
Yeah.
Especially the freaking
Do you see what's
emos.
going on with
Like emos, like emos are on Musical.ly are so cringy.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. You want me to take it away? You work with them.
Take a moment.
Hey guys, I'm
You
gonna
saw the
say
process.
Okay, I need to clean my eyes.
Okay, so you should be occasionally checking your mixture.
Nothing-
Ooh,
nothing
look at
is happening.
yours.
I want to see Kobe.
You see like tons of little things clumping in there, right?
Yeah.
That's
Nothing
your
is
DNA.
happening
That's
to me.
nasty.
Kobe's
That's
really
nice.
Damn, Kobe.
Nothing's happening for me.
Ow, I bit my tongue.
I think I want to be a weight starter.
So maybe the answer is that you don't have any DNA.
He's
We
dead.
just found out you're actually an alien.
I bit my tongue.
What are you talking about?
What was that? You
Must have been a really
like?
funny joke.
You see all those like bubbly string things? That's your DNA.
Wait,
I
wait,
still-
what about this? I don't want to look at it because it's disgusting.
The smell.
Nope, that's your DNA. That's what those clips are.
Oh my god.
What is that black stuff though? I'm really confused.
I don't know. That might have been just.
That was stuck in the.
Yeah, that was probably on the thing we mixed the alcohol in. So black stuff, just ignore.
You are now being ignored. Ew, it's so.
You just got
Hashtag
beamed.
So take a straw out.
Please don't.
Get beamed.
Please don't. I don't ever.
Get Mr. Bean. He's got clones on his hair.
Nobody can do it better than me.
Oh my god.
Ear rape? Really?
That sounds so
beautiful.
This is exactly what.
Yeah.
I make serious.
Oh, yeah, it's-
like that.
I play this on my my MacBook.
It's me 24/7. I'm used to it.
No, his is slimy.
Kazoo kid.
My dude, you just got great.
I'm still dying over here.
You're still dying. Why? Because of the alcohol smell?
No, because I did this.
That's so sad.
All right, how are we doing? Everyone seeing some clumpy stuff for me?
I just have that one.
Yep, it's the same.
I see bubbles.
Yeah, mine.
It's confirmed. You have no DNA.
I could never find my pulse.
I know, it's hard.
Everything.
Like I spent like 2 hours.
In fact, we'll do a lab where we find out.
Okay,
Where
good.
we jump around. That seemed like you would enjoy moving around.
I can find my pulse right now.
Next Friday, I'm gonna try using my MacBook and see if that'll actually work.
Okay, so now we're going to. Oh, we got some chat. You're neglecting your lab partner duties. Kind of funny watching this. Yeah.
That's not a
So I don't know how we're gonna show. Let's see if we can show Kobe's cup.
Ew.
Well, his is
Nothing.
good. Kobe.
Nothing. Where else would you find?
Can you see it?
No. Right there. Right
Besides
there.
your neck and your wrist.
I don't know if you guys can see Kobe's cup, but
Or up here.
there's tons of little dots. Do you want to take some pictures?
So I have a DNA and I barely
We'll take
have-
some pictures so
I
that we can
barely
send
have
them.
any pulse. I'm a dead person.
I don't have a Snapchat.
I have mine.
The Snapchat.
That's
Think about it. I had no DNA.
Yeah, with Polly got Snapchat, but it's very inappropriate on my Snapchat, so I'm good.
All right, so we're gonna spend like another minute or so waiting.
I don't feel it. Plot twist.
And then you are.
I am a dead person.
No, you're just an alien. You're
No,
an
dead
alien.
people still have DNA. You're not even
Duh.
dead.
Here, Kobe, take your
You're
spit
an
back.
alien.
So I'm an alien with barely any pulse. I am
With Barrowby.
barely.
Holy crap.
He's either an
Oh,
alien or
oh.
a predator.
The pictures are live movement, so
That's
you
fine.
can kind of see them.
You can take some Snapshots on my Snapchat too.
Let me see your spit back
Oh,
again.
no, I
Okay.
missed.
So,
Ew.
Ian, what are you doing over there? We're going to get set up to actually now learn about DNA a little bit more and read this post-lab situation. Where's the thing for this? There it is. Ooh. All right. So everybody have your lab sheet open still. We're going to read why we did the science we did, first of all, right? Because some people are like, well, why did we add alcohol? Why did we need certain things here? So we're going to read about why, and then we're going to learn a little bit about DNA, just some basic review stuff for some people, possibly new stuff for some of us. Yep, it's turning on. Okay. Actually, I thought about having the Jeopardy music play during virtual sessions. Because I'm always like, okay guys, take a second to do this. And then it's just completely silent. I'm just there like drinking my coffee. Okay.
Or
So- Or taking stuff away from my dog who always wants to chew stuff out. I do yell at my dog a lot. Okay. So, looking back at this Extract Your DNA lab, can we get a volunteer who wants to read under...
I will read.
Okay, Aiden's gonna read for us where it says, what's happening? So underneath all the directions, it says what's happening. It says, when you gargle the salt water.
All right, let's begin. So guys, some of your cheek cells become suspended. The more vigorously
Gargle, yes.
the more cheek cells will like.
Wait, I'm sorry, Aiden. I can't hear you because some other people are talking while you're speaking. Go ahead.
These, you made me lose my place, dude. Come on,
Bro.
It's not cool. The DNA to be released into the cell. DNA is not stable in alcohol, so it forms a solid where the alcohol and salt water layers meet. Most of the other substances from your cheek cells stay dissolved in the salt water layer. The blood streams of pumps. These beads are thousands of DNA molecules pumped together. Single DNA molecules are hard to small to see with the naked eye. When you gargle the salt water, you are also collecting some bacterial cells from inside the pump of the DNA.
Excellent. Right, so the process was just, first you got the cells out of your mouth. The dish soap helped break the cells open, so the DNA comes out. Right, and then the alcohol and food coloring part was to create layers where your DNA actually will start clumping together because it's not soluble, meaning it doesn't dissolve in water or in alcohol. The rest of the stuff inside your cell dissolved, right, so you don't see it. And the scary thing is there's also some bacteria DNA in there as well from in your mouth. And even if you brushed your teeth and Listerine 8 times this morning, there's still bacteria in your mouth. Even with gum, you still have bacteria in your mouth. It gets 99.9, but is that 100%?
Again,
So what do you think happens to those leftover bacteria? They reproduce like crazy and they repopulate your mouth. All right.
it's even worse with cancer bacteria.
So let's talk a little bit about DNA.
I think I lost my notebook.
You're gonna want to take notes because there's post-lab questions. You can even just look at the post-lab question at the bottom of your document and know exactly what you're gonna have to answer, right? But we're gonna just review what DNA is. So we have our DNA picture here. Why can't I move this thing up? What is this? Oh, good, I can. Okay, so we have a picture of DNA here. Right, and something interesting about DNA is that we did not know what DNA was until the 1950s, right? People are still alive today who probably existed when DNA, it wasn't known what it was. Meanwhile, look at it now. They talk about DNA all the time, right? You watch any CSI show, any Law and Order show, and they're getting a DNA sample, they're talking about DNA, right? You probably hear about your DNA. You hear people talk about it in conversation, maybe, depending on who you're hanging out with. If you're hanging out with me, I talk about DNA a lot. So it's something that people talk about a lot now. It's like a thing. Everyone just accepts. Oh, yeah, we have this stuff, DNA. Yes? Oh, good. All right. So chromosomes are what you're actually seeing in your cup. They're condensed, clumped up pieces of DNA. They also usually have proteins on them. Right, so the official definition is that chromosomes are a thread-like structure of nucleic acids and protein found in the nucleus of most living cells carrying genetic information in the form of genes. Simple definition, chromosomes are DNA plus protein in a condensed form. They're smushed up close together. We'll see a picture of this in a second. What is a gene? By the way, I'm going to be posting this. So if you want to look at the PowerPoint later, it'll be there. Genes, the official definition, a unit of heredity that is transferred from a parent to an offspring and is held to determine some characteristics of the offspring. Right? The short version, a gene is one protein, right? It's also a piece of DNA. So almost everyone this year is going to be learning some kind of living life science topic, right? And some people are going to get to learn about heredity, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'll be teaching a lot of virtual sessions about that for those of you who get to learn about that. Otherwise, right, just keep in mind that you get 50% of your DNA from your mom and 50% from your dad, right? Their DNA was also jumbled up before it even got to you. So that's why you see some variations, right? You don't look like 50% of your mom and 50% of your dad necessarily. Yeah, sometimes you look more like one parent, right? Because their genes might be more expressed in you. Sometimes you look more like your sibling maybe than your parents, right? It happens.
You could be twins. You never know.
You could be twins and have the same DNA. But what's interesting about twins, right, is that
They don't always look alike.
they do have slight differences even though they have the exact same DNA, which is interesting.
What about identical twins?
So we wanted to show this little clip here. Some people, could we get the lights back there?
Get the light.
Okay, so some of you guys are going to recognize this. Right, so that was literally 3 seconds. We'll watch it again.
That's gonna be me today.
But
I was like,
DNA, a spider gene is getting inserted into the DNA, right?
DNA breaks and a spider,
Wait,
a
so
bit
the
of spider
spider
DNA
spits
breaks it.
thing.
Yeah, so what's interesting, guys, is that your DNA does break apart like that, right? That's not completely unrealistic. So you might have seen that and been like, okay, they're just, doing some elaborate thing for the movies, right? No, your DNA actually breaks apart. It's probably half of it's broken apart right now because it's getting copied.
What?
Copied,
Oh, copy.
right? The information is on the inside of the DNA. The only way to get there is to break it apart. Also, every time that you go out in the sun, which is convenient that we have sun right now as I'm saying that, the sun breaks your DNA, right? Your DNA is not really that strong. It gets broken apart by the sun all the time, and then it repairs itself. But that's why people who go in the sun too much, right, often end up getting skin cancer or other problems because their DNA has to keep repairing itself, and eventually it makes a mistake. And then there can be problems. Right? Okay, so visually, what does this look like? We have a cell, right? You have some stuff in the cell. You have a nucleus of the cell. Chromosomes, they look like X's. Kind of weird, but they actually do look like that. Right? When you unwind them, there are pieces of DNA that are covered in these yellowish orange things, which are proteins. And they're all spiraled up nice and tightly into these chromosomes. If you keep unwinding, then you end up getting a long strand of DNA, right? A piece of the DNA would be a gene. So not the whole thing, but a piece of it. And then we get even smaller and we see the makeup of the DNA itself, right? It's made up of these letters, which are actually nucleotide bases, but we represent them with letters.
Aren't there also like some kind of Y chromosomes?
Yes, so all the chromosomes look like X's, even the Y chromosome, which is a little weird. The Y chromosome, no, it looks like a Y. It's a sad little tiny chromosome that makes you male. And I say it's sad and tiny just because it doesn't have very many genes on it. It has very few genes. But you're right, there is a Y chromosome. And if you're a boy, you have one. All right, so the structure of DNA, right? When we actually look up close at a zoomed in piece, there are only 4 bases or nucleotides that make up DNA. There's only 4 letters. Okay, this should be mind-blowing to you guys. There's 4 letters that can be put into millions of combinations that make you look very different from other people. Right? There's only 4. Imagine if we only had 4 letters in our alphabet. It would be much harder to make complicated words, but we would do it, right? Mind blown, perfect. Bringing out the memes, right? So only 4 letters. One difference. If everybody has A, and then somebody has A, that could be a big enough difference to give you a different trait, right? It could also be you have that T in there and it doesn't do anything. Sometimes changes in the DNA don't mean anything.
It seems like that you can actually make your own. You can actually make and record like DNA code.
Yes, so there's a lot of really cool technology, like gene technology, where we actually take genes, right? For example, think about somebody who has diabetes, right? Type 1, where they don't make insulin. They don't make something that their body needs. Scientists want to take that gene and insert it into those people so that they can make the correct proteins. The hard part is, you actually, this is weird, but you use something called a gene gun to insert a gene. You actually take the gene and you shoot it at the DNA, kind of like the spider thing, and see if it gets stuck in there, right? Which is cool, but then sometimes you put it in the wrong spot and you might disrupt another gene, maybe the gene that makes the eye, for example. So then you end up getting an organism that doesn't have eyes, but it has the gene you want, right? So they do this with flies. If you're interested in this stuff, this is a career possibility. You can play with fruit flies. They're pretty cool. You can manipulate their genes. They actually have flies where they've made eyeballs appear all over the body. So like, I'll bring a picture up in a minute. Flies with legs with eyes on them, right? Or eyes in the middle of the body. It's a real eye because they know the gene for the eye, right? And they were able to insert it in other spots and then it just appears. And make a unicorn? Possibly, but the hard thing is you have to find the genes that create that horn, right? And you have to isolate them. And the hard thing about genes is that they're not just like here to here. They sometimes will have a random space and then they have more information up here. So they're kind of complicated, which is why this is kind of a new science still. Scientists are still figuring out how to do that, right? It's a hard thing to do. Okay. So, the other thing is there's certain pairings, which this little video recording thing is blocking. A always pairs with T. So adenine always pairs with thymine. So when you see a picture of DNA, you'll always see adenine and thymine. They always pair together. And cytosine and guanine, that's what these things are called, always pair together. Okay, so they have specific rules. And then that allows you, like Ian said, we can read DNA. We know what it means, right? We can actually translate it. All right, so, of course you do. This is the last slide, and then I'll show you the fly eyes. Okay, so what do we use DNA for? I saw. Most of us know the first one. Crime scene investigations, right? If somebody leaves a hair, some skin, something, blood at the crime scene, we can take it and find the DNA, right? Health services. There are some genes that make you, for example, more likely to have breast cancer. They can take a sample of your DNA, analyze it, and tell you if you're one of those people. To make proteins, right? Making proteins in your body. You may be like, well, what are proteins? Everything is a protein, basically. Hormones are made by DNA. We can isolate genes. This is, Ian, you got ahead here because you asked this question already. Right? Scientists can find a gene, they can take it out, and then they can try to insert it into other organisms or create medicines to help fix things based on genes. Right, and then last, we use DNA for evolution to compare species. Right, 40% of your DNA is the exact same as a fruit fly. Identical, 40%. 98% of your DNA is the same as a chimpanzee. Right, so only that 2% difference makes you not look like a chimpanzee. Pretty cool. Right, you actually share a lot of your DNA with yeast and other organisms as well.
That tells her, like, is she like 50% Spanish?
Oh yeah.
Ancestors.
So that's a great thing. They can use DNA for ancestry purposes, right? To figure out where you came from, who your ancestors are. Definitely. All right, so I'm gonna try to find this fruit fly pick.
I'm not gonna sleep for days.
See if this is the right thing.
Pack 6.
Yeah, that's what the gene's called. It's called PAC6.
Oh, I was thinking of the kind of, I was
Let's
thinking of
see.
I was thinking of the convention.
There we go.
Is
So here's a picture of,
I can't see the.
you might have to come up here closer, but this is a leg. That's an eye. That's expressed on the leg.
What is that?
The
That
leg.
looks like blood.
Why don't you look
What
under that?
animal is
Well, it's a fruit fly. The eyes are usually red. So that's not strange. I'm trying to see if there's a better picture. I'll hunt for a better picture. I'll post it underneath the PowerPoint.
So,
Well, you could, but we're not there yet. All right. So everybody may or may not know this. You are required to do 2 labs out of 4 for the semester. So this was number 1 out of 4. So if you just participated in this lab, if you answer the questions, post-lab questions, which I literally just gave you the answers to, then you turn in the lab and you're done with 1 lab already. Okay? So you'll also notice in Canvas, there's a section at the very bottom of your modules that says lab turn in 1, lab turn in 2. I think both of them are due in June, right? But you can turn them in whenever. So if you finish the lab today, you turn it in and you're already done with 1. If you do all 4 labs, you get extra credit. That was part of last semester still. All right, so we're gonna end this meeting. Everybody is going to work on the post-lab questions. I'm gonna post this PowerPoint up so that you can look at it again if you want to, and I'm gonna try to find a better eye pic of the fly. All right, thanks everybody who came from home.
show video. I will.